You're lying on your back, staring at the ceiling. It's 3 in the morning. The lights in the hallway never fully turn off. They dim a little at night. But they never go dark. That pale yellow glow creeps under your door and sits in your cell like an unwanted guest. You've been awake for 2 hours. Not because of noise, though there's always noise. Someone coughing 3 cells down, the distant clang of a door. The low hum of the ventilation system. You're awake because your mind won't stop. It runs all night like an engine with no off switch. You think about your trial. You think about the verdict. You think about your daughter's face the last time she visited, how she looked older than you remembered, how her eyes had something in them you'd never seen before, something that looked like acceptance. You're on death row. You have been for 4 years. Nobody is born here. Nobody ends up in a 6 by 9 cell on death row without a long road getting them there. You grew up poor, not the kind of poor people romanticize, the kind that is stressful every single day. The kind where your mother counted change before going to the grocery store. The kind where the heat got cut off twice one winter and you slept in your coat. You grew up in a neighborhood where the corner store had bars on its windows and the school had metal detectors at the door. Your father was gone by the time you were 7. Your mother worked double shifts at a diner trying to keep the lights on. She was a good woman. She did everything she could, but there's only so much one tired woman can do to shield a kid from the world outside her front door. By 14, you were spending more time in the streets than at home. There was a group of older guys who paid attention to you, who talked to you like you mattered, who let you feel like you belonged somewhere. You didn't understand at 14 that belonging to the wrong people is sometimes more dangerous than being alone. By 16, you'd been arrested twice. By 19, you were deeper in than you knew how to get out of. And by 23, you were sitting in a courtroom listening to a jury foreman read the verdict that would decide the rest of your life. Guilty, first-degree murder. You remember the sound your mother made? It wasn't a scream, it was quieter, a sharp exhale, like someone had punched her in the chest. She was shaking her head slowly, hands covering her mouth, eyes wet. You wanted to cross that room and hold her, but your hands were already cuffed behind your back, and a guard was pushing you toward a door, and that was the last time you saw her face without a pane of glass between you. When they walk you onto the death row unit for the first time, the first thing you notice is how quiet it is. You expected chaos. But death row isn't like that. Death row is quiet. It has the specific silence of a place where people have run out of things to fight for. Your cell is 6 feet wide, 9 feet long, a metal bed bolted to the wall, a 2-inch mattress, a toilet and sink in the corner with no privacy. A small shelf, one light in the ceiling, a window too high to see out of properly, just a rectangle of sky if you tilt your head right. The officer closes the door. You hear the lock engage. You sit on the edge of that mattress and look at the 4 walls and think, this is where I live now. You don't cry, not yet, that comes later. The routine on death row does not bend for how you feel. 5:30 in the morning, the lights go full bright. Breakfast comes through the slot in your door. Powdered eggs, white bread, watered down juice. You eat it because you need to, not because it's good. Once a day you get 1 hour of recreation, a small concrete yard alone where you walk in circles. That 1 hour of open air becomes more precious than anything you've ever owned. You look forward to it more than you've ever looked forward to anything. The rest of the day you fill however you can. You read every book you can get from the library cart. You write letters. You do push-ups in your cell. You pace, you think, mostly you think. The men around you are not monsters. That's the thing nobody tells you. The men in cells near you have histories, families, mothers. Some claim innocence, some don't. Some have made peace with what they did, some haven't. There's an older man 2 cells down who has been here over 20 years. His hair is mostly gray now. He tells you through the door, stay busy. Stay connected to people outside. Don't let your mind turn on itself, because that's the real danger in here. Not the guards, not other inmates. Your own mind is the most dangerous thing in a cell this small. He's right. You already know he's right. Your legal situation is the central fact of your existence. Every day your first thought is, what is happening with my case? Is there a new appeal? Is there still time? Your attorney files motion after motion. She challenges the original trial, the evidence, the handling of witnesses. Each filing takes months. Each ruling comes back and you read it word by word, looking for the phrase that will change everything. You keep going because what is the alternative? The hope is small, sometimes barely a flicker, but you protect it. You cup it in your hands like a match in the wind. You know, men have been exonerated from death row, walked out after 15, 20 years because someone found new DNA, because a witness recanted, because a buried file was finally opened. You hold on to those stories. But after 4 years of appeals coming back denied, the honest part of your brain knows the odds, and the odds are not good. Visits are the most important hours of your life. Your mother comes every few weeks, 2 hours on a bus each way. She always looks slightly older than the last time, and you hate that your situation is doing that to her. She asks if you're eating. She tells you about the neighborhood, who got married, what she cooked Sunday. Ordinary things, things that would have bored you before and now feel like water when you're dying of thirst. At the end of every visit, she puts her flat palm against the glass. You put yours against it too. The glass is cold and solid, and you both hold it there for a few seconds and pretend it's the same as holding hands. It isn't, but you both need to pretend. Your daughter was 4 when you came in. She's 8 now. She's grown up visiting her father on death row. During visits, she asks careful questions. What do you do all day? Do you have friends? Is the food okay? She told you once that she tells kids at school her dad is away for work. You didn't correct her. You write her a letter every single week. You tell her and everyone that she is the best thing that ever came out of your life. You mean it completely. The worst moments are not the dramatic ones. They're the quiet ones that sneak up on you. It's a Tuesday afternoon and you smell something that reminds you of your uncle's garage when you were 10, when summer was endless and nothing bad had happened yet, and suddenly there's a grief in your chest so large it has no name. You put your book down and breathe through it until it passes. Or it's late at night and you hear a few seconds of a song through a guard's phone, a song you used to hear in the car, and your whole body remembers what it felt like to be moving, to be going somewhere. Then the music stops and the cell is quiet and you are still here. Or your daughter says something during a visit about a school play or a birthday party and you realize you were not there. You will never be there for any of it, and that is a grief that sits low and permanent. You learn to carry these moments without letting them swallow you. You don't always manage it, but you try. Then your lawyer calls with a tone you haven't heard before, flat, careful, the kind of tone people use when they're about to say something they don't want to say. The appeals are exhausted. The final motion was denied. The governor's office declined to intervene. A date has been set. She tells you the date, and you write it on a scrap of paper with a stubby pencil. You stare at it. A Tuesday, 8 weeks away. Just a date on a calendar, but it is the last date you will ever have. You thank her. She says she's sorry, that she tried everything, that she'll keep looking right up to the last moment. Her voice cracks slightly. You tell her you know she did her best. You hang up. You sit in your cell for a long time after that, not crying, not praying, just sitting with it. 8 weeks. The final weeks are different. The staff are quieter around you, more chaplain visits, easier phone calls, small improvements in your meals that are both a kindness and a reminder of where this is going. You spend most of your time writing, letters to your mother, your daughter, your lawyer, a letter to the victim's family that takes you 2 weeks to finish and costs you more than almost anything else. You don't know if they'll read it. You write it anyway. You go through your life slowly, like turning pages. The good things, the bad things, what you do differently. You come back to your daughter every time. Whatever else this life was, she is in it. That has to count for something. The night before, they move you to a holding cell next to the execution chamber. Your spiritual advisor sits with you. Sometimes you talk. Sometimes you sit in silence. He's good at silence, which matters more than people realize. You eat your last meal. You'd requested something simple, a meal your mother used to make, something warm, something that tasted like before. It comes on a tray and it's mostly right. You eat it slowly and try to taste every bite. You don't sleep. You lie down, but sleep doesn't come. You spend those dark hours going through the good moments one more time. Your daughter's laugh, the smell of your mother's kitchen on Sunday mornings, the feeling of sun on your face during that 1 hour of recreation. You hold these things carefully. At some point, the sky outside starts going from black to dark blue. Dawn, the last one. When the guards come, you stand up on your own. You didn't want to be told twice. You walk with them down the corridor and into the execution chamber. It's smaller than you expected. Rooms where enormous things happen always seem too small when you're standing in them. The table is in the center, padded, with restraints on the arm extensions. A window along one wall with witnesses behind it. You don't look at them directly. They guide you onto the table. You lie back. They strap your arms and legs down and insert the IV line, and everything is very calm and very quiet. That is somehow the strangest part, how calm it all is. The warden reads the sentence aloud, the charge, the conviction, the order of the court. He asks if you have any final words. You keep it short. You say your daughter's name. You tell her you love her and you're sorry for everything your life cost her. You say you hope the victim's family finds peace someday. You say your mother's name. Then you close your eyes. The first drug enters the line. You feel a coldness moving up your arm, then a heaviness, like being pressed down gently, like sinking into deep water, like the edge of sleep on the one night in 4 years that sleep actually came easy.